اسمحوا لي أن أتكلم بلساني العربي قبل أن يحتلوا لغتي أيضاً.
Allow me to speak my Arab tongue before they occupy my language as well.
Well, I'm trying to include all the symbols, as many as I can. So the olive tree and traditional tatriz type of stuff. So there's kind of a reference to all of those things, but also kind of turning Palestine into a human, who I want to get to know, or I hope she remembers me. When I was in Jordan, it was almost the norm for everyone to know Palestinian culture and to be part of it. Whereas when I came to Bristol, it was almost like I lost all of that connection suddenly. And so I tried to remake it myself and find a community here that made me feel at home. The open mic night that Friends of Palestine has organized is going to be held at the Bristol Palestine Museum, which is actually the only Palestine museum in Europe, so we're really lucky to have that. But essentially, we're giving people opportunity to stand in front of the mic and share their opinions and feelings and emotions through poetry, art, music, to kind of display Palestinian culture in a way that is more accessible to people, I think.
You're so not ready. Palestinian music sounds like drugs. When I listen to Palestinian music, I'm just on cloud nine. My favorite Palestinian instrument is the tabla. I think everything is boring without tabla. Perfect. I'm gonna start frying the cauliflower. قبل ما أجي على بريطانيا ستي أول إشي أعطتني إياه زيت زيتون with the tata spice. And she said, if you have your tata spice, everything is gonna be fine. Share your culture, cook for people there. You won't feel alone. كل مرة بمسك سكينة بطبخ، كل مرة بشم ريحة أكل برجعني لذكريات يوم ما يكون عندنا ناس في الدار ودايما بنطعم الناس وأي حدا ممكن نفتح بابنا قاعدين إحنا في البلكونة بنفطر واحد مارق تفضل تعال افطر معنا. فما بناكل لحالنا، دايما في عنا حدا في الدار، دايما بنعزم أصحابنا، دايما عنا أهلنا. فجزء كتير مهم في حياتنا الطبخ. ما كل الواحد بس يترك بلده ونترك فلسطين ونيجي هنا ما بنكون عارفين إيش حنحس، حنكون لحالنا، ناس تفهم مزحاتنا، ناس تفهم لغتنا، ناس تفهم الطريقة اللي بنحب نقعد فيها، نسهر فيها، نحكي مع بعض فيها. فكرة إني ألاقي Palestinian community في بريستل كتير سهلت علي عيشتي، كتير سهلت علي حياتي. It feels like home. Since moving to Bristol, I've never felt homesick. Believe it or not, never, because I have this community here. دائما بناخذ الفن تبعنا معنا لو نروح على آخر الدنيا إن شاء الله. الكل هون بس يجي ويخترب إنه كله بيقضيها إنه كلوبينج وهاي القصص وكذا، إلا إحنا يعني ما بمر علينا جمعة إلا وإحنا نسمع أغاني فلسطينية، ناكل أكل فلسطيني، واللي بدبك واللي برقص شرقي. You'll never see us not celebrating our culture the way we always did in our home country.
I feel like having that sense of community in a time where your nationhood is being questioned, like the statehood and your nationality is always being questioned, but to have a community of people around you who all agree that you exist, that you all exist together and that you represent something so much greater than a little group, it means the most to me.
For the open mic night, I am going to read my poetry. أحياناً كتيرة وأنا بشغل فيروز الصبح بسمع أم كلثوم ترجعني للأيام اللي كنت أقعد فيها بشوارع رام الله بالليل على القهوة مع أصحابي مع كل الناس اللي قاعدة هناك لأوصف الحالة وأوصف عيون الناس كيف تتطلع على بعض، أوصف الحب، وهذا كله لقيته في الشعر وفي اللغة، لأن اللغة العربية ما في أي لغة في العالم بتقدر توصفي المشاعر تعون الناس قد اللغة العربية.
ولا واحد فيهم دارس انت مرقت سرقت حرقت الأخضر واليابس. عليكم يا
Speaking up has been the only thing we're capable of doing towards Palestine. And since music plays a huge role in expressing my feelings, I feel like everyone around me would feel the energy and the vibes I give off when I play something for Palestine, and they would sense the emotions I feel towards Palestine through music. Okay. It's really basic.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're a good teacher, by the way.
I'm a good teacher?
Yeah.
I'm flattered.
For the open mic night, I'm gonna be sharing a poem of mine. My uncle, my dad's brother, he was a poet. I think when he was alive and when I knew him, I was too young to understand his poetry and understand what it meant. But now I'm old enough and connected enough to the cause where I can understand it. And also my appreciation for Arabic poetry has dramatically increased.
What happened in May 2021?
In May 2021, there was a series of protests in Bristol to call for Palestinian rights, safety, equality after the bombings over Gaza. I felt really sad that in a way that was like the only thing I could do. In other ways I felt really like seen and recognized and heard. Like I was screaming my lungs out. Everything in me was just, all the anger and the frustration and the build-up and the sadness was just being let out, and I was free to do that. People let me do that.
Could you say a bit of your speech?
Yeah, I could. Wait. Hold on. Let me pull it up. My heart hurts. I'm burnt out and tired. I haven't cried yet because I'm so overwhelmed by so many emotions. Anger, sadness, frustration, exhaustion, helplessness. I'm thinking that maybe as I say the speech, I will cry.
Being a Palestinian is one of the most heartbreakingly painful things anyone will ever have to go through, and many of you can attest. It requires so much strength and resilience to just stand by while your people are dying and your villages are being overrun and evacuated. We all need to rest, but we can't, because if we do, who will speak for us? There is no one else. So please, if you are in this audience and you are not Arab or not Palestinian, I want to hear your voice.
I'll end with a quote by Mahmoud Darwish. سلام لأرض خلقت للسلام وما رأت يوم سلام. Peace for a land born for peace, which has never seen a day for peace. Save Sheikh Jarrah, end the occupation, free Palestine. It's a bit heavy. Even like just reading it back makes me feel kind of emotional. It puts me back in that headspace. It's just kind of, I don't know.
Nice to see you.
really excited to show people how creative we are, to show people how talented we are, and that, again, we're not just a cause.
أول مرة أقع فيها بالعشق. قلبي يتألم عندما تناظرني. أحاول أن أهرب لكن لا أستطيع. قلبي يعتصر في كل مرة أرى عيناها تائهة. أريد إحراق العالم الذي فعل بها هكذا. أكره نظرة الضعف والانكسار بعينيها. أكره أن أراها تتألم. أتمنى أن آخذ جميع الآلام عنها. لا أعلم ما هذا. لا أعلم ما هذا الإحساس. هل هذه أول مرة أقع فيها بالعشق أم ماذا؟
I just wanted to say a few things about Palestinian art in general. Palestinian art is one of the everlasting ways in which Palestinians can express who they are, their identity, their culture, the things that make them Palestinian. And it's really important for us to kind of ensure the longevity of this art in whatever way we can. So I'm really glad that you guys are here tonight because we're just carrying the story on. And yeah, that means the world to me, so thank you. I am a stranger to Palestine and she a stranger to me. I hope she remembers me, generationally at least. I hope the fertile soil of Elmasry remembers my ancestors. I hope she memorized the shape of my grandmother's feet. I hope she forgot the taste of my grandfather's blood. Perhaps then one day she will remember me. I would give her my eyes, and she would keep them to herself, humbly. And she would look through them clearly. Not with clarity, but clearly. She would see a world that she has not yet seen, and a hope that she will be free. And perhaps when we meet again, she will give my eyes back to me, and I will see her with clarity, clearly. Living in the same world even she was surprised could come to be. A world where her children and grandchildren, including me, have all come back to her nurturing warmth and the delicacy of her love and the reality that she is at last free. Thank you.
My name's Layla Farron Priscott. My granddaughter, Lily Priscott, is directing this film, and I was born in Jerusalem, Palestine. My father was a Palestinian Arab, and my mother was British.
Half a teaspoon of mixed spice. It's not very much, is it?
I was born the 5th of November 1938. I thought it was the best place in the world to live. I had the most wonderful life. My parents had wonderful friends. Well, I don't think you can have that culture here. There's so many pressures here to get through school, through your exams, get to university, through your exams, find a job. Nothing like that mattered because the family took in anybody who was out of work, and you ate and you slept, and there wasn't the terrible, I don't know what you'd call it, pressure. The school was French, so I knew English, I knew Arabic, but I didn't know any French whatsoever.
Was this the school that you were in when the Nakba happened?
Yes. Well, I was still left in the school. And it was a very frightening time for all of us in our dormitories because the bombs would go off and we were supposed to be silent and I would start screaming. You know, I was frightened. I don't think my father believed that he couldn't go back into Palestine and collect me. It didn't occur to him, although he'd got a Jordanian passport by then, but he wasn't allowed in. So my mother came back by taxi to collect me. And I was one of the last pupils in the school because everybody had been collected, everybody had left. You know, all the Arabs weren't allowed to stay there. It felt very strange. I didn't know what I was going into. It's me again.
So is that in Jerusalem?
That's Jerusalem on the roof of our house. It was an area of Jerusalem called the Upper Baqa. When I revisited, they said it was an army camp now. Everything had been demolished.
This play script is probably what I'm drawing on the most when I write. It's a play by this amazing, amazing actor and Palestinian called Bilal Hasna. It kind of touches on the story of his life as a Palestinian, but also the story of this activist called Wa'il Zaiter. And he was assassinated in like the early 90s or late 80s. He talks about this feeling that we all have when we're Palestinian that is impossible to translate. That's his words, not mine, but it's true. It's like inherently part of you. I don't want you to remember Wa'il just as someone who got assassinated, because Palestinians are so much more than their deaths. I want you to remember Wa'il as someone who loved the smell of oranges, as someone who started the Italian committee in support of the Palestinian people, which still exists, as someone who had a sensitivity to the beauty of life in a way all of us could only dream of, as someone who, above everything else, tried to translate this feeling, which is like so, I don't know. I feel like that's what we're all trying to do. Like, this entire time we've been trying to translate this feeling. Sometimes I think all of this is me trying to prove to myself that I'm Palestinian, which really like resonates with me as well, because I wasn't born there, and sometimes there's that like guilt that I've had such a good experience relative to other people, and I have the privilege to be able to like talk about it and be an activist and like not be censored for stuff, and I don't know.
In one word, what does Palestine mean to you?
Hope.
Resilience.
People.
Home.
ذكريات كل فين أيام زمان قبل الوداع كنا منقول إن الفراق ده مستحيل وكل دمعة على الخدين كانت بتسيل مليانة بأمل إن إحنا نبقى موجودين في بحر الحب على الشاطئ كلمة حلوة وكلمتين حلوة يا بلدي غنوة حلوة وغنوتين حلوة يا بلدي أملي دايما كان يا بلدي إني أرجع لك يا بلدي وأفضل دايما جنبك على طول ذكريات كل اللي فات فاكرة يا بلدي قلبي مليان بحكايات فاكرة يا بلدي